Let's talk about penalties, right? Everyone's always talking about a duplicate content penalty. To be clear, there's no duplicate content penalty, right? It's not like, Penguin or Panda, these penalties that kind of locked you away or de-indexed you altogether. However, having lots of duplicate content or content copied from other sites can influence your rankings in a negative way as it leads to a poor user experience. Google finds this content somewhere else. You're duplicating it, so they don't want to rank you for it. So, the differentiator here really is the intent of what you're doing, right? If you grab a paragraph or two of content from an article that's been written, and then you're putting in your an opinion piece about what's written, like that's kind of okay. It's usually even more okay if you link to the originating source, right? Here's where I got this content from, and you're just writing something about it. The intent is not to copy. The intent is to, make an opinion piece for argument's sake. But there's no official penalty for duplicate content. Now, we are starting to see with some of the new updates, helpful content updates, spam, updates as well. But it's more about, again, intent. What is this page there for? Is it there strictly for the search engine, serving the search engine, or is it there to help the user? And so you got to be aware of that, all right? And according to Google, duplicate content on a site is not grounds for action on that site unless it appears that the intent of the content, the duplicate content, is to be deceptive and manipulative of the search engine results. So if your site suffers from this and you don't follow the advice that we'll talk about, they'll do a good job of choosing a version of the content to show in our search result. That's from Google. Now, they do try really hard to index and show pages with distinct information. So if your site has a regular and a printer version of each article, and neither of those is blocked with like a no index meta tag, Google's going to choose one of them to list, but you don't know which one it's going to be. So this is where, you want to make sure you're being careful about those kind of things. In the rare cases where Google perceives that duplicate content may be shown with intent to manipulate their rankings and deceive users, they can make appropriate adjustments in the indexing and ranking of that site involved. So you might say that's a penalty. It isn't, it isn't. It's just, Google has many things that raise or lowers your rankings, okay? They don't consider it a penalty. It's not like a manual thing where you're going to be de-indexed for usually. But as a result, the ranking of your site may suffer. Site may be removed for doing things, again, on purposely trying to manipulate rank. Anytime you're purposely trying to manipulate rankings, you run the risk of being de-indexed by Google, right? It's all about intent.